All right, we are back for episode 18. 18 of the Southern Ontario Dirt Show. Travis Cunningham, Jonathan Howe with you. Travis, who is the number 18 that comes to mind first for you locally?
Who are you going with? I know what I'm going to
I
think.
see. I would go.
I always go
I
first,
would go
so
Revs.
that's what I was going to go with. So now we got to think of another one. Andy Tallman back in the
Hmm.
day. You don't know him. He was a dwarf car guy, my buddy.
Yeah. How
There's
about Hmm.
Rick Hochter, Bad Banana back.
Yep.
Everyone loves the Bad Banana. I thought of another one.
I think that might be it because Revs runs the Sportsman and the Modified, so he's kind of got
Yeah,
18 covered in two divisions there. It's not like anybody else is going to grab 18.
yeah, true. I'm sure there's more.
I'm trying to. I'm sure there's a. Didn't somebody? Didn't somebody have like a four cylinder that was painted like Bobby Labonte and numbered 18 at some point?
I think so.
Was that a fever dream?
Yeah, maybe I'm just yeah.
I can't remember who. I feel like I've seen that picture before. Somebody will reach out to us and tell us another 18 that we're
Yep.
obviously missing. But yeah, Brad Rouse, the Brad Rouse episode of this podcast here, number 18,
Yep.
and it's it feels weird to say after the last few shows that we've had, but it's kind of a thin week. I mean, we got rained out Sunday at Humberstone. Friday night, you guys were all off from Ohsweken after the Monday Tuesday shows, so we got Merrittville to talk about. So I think this is a good night to dive into the points. But let's start with the results. Matt Williamson, who just as we were starting the podcast, wrapped up another win in the or his first points paying win of the Super Dirt Car Series year. He also won the Core Pack Merchandising 358 Modifieds on Saturday night for a win number 9, I believe it was, on the year.
Yep. Watched the feature before we went on here tonight. It was an awesome battle with Pete Bicknell. No rubbing, no nothing, no slamming. Just a pretty good little battle there for a couple laps. Matt ran him down just ran him down. Matt was running second for a while. Pete had jumped out to a big lead. Matt ran him down. Track was a little heavier. People said it was heavy. It wasn't heavy. It's just there was a nice little cushion on the top. Looked perfect to me. That's what I got to say by the modified feature. Definitely a little bit of a cushion to lean on. Matt used it to his advantage out of 4, got the lead around Pete, and then pulled away. But yeah, it was a good race, good battle between those two.
Yeah, it was a good battle. It was clean. Matt really got around the top side. Pete was kind of committed to the bottom there, and Matt's got to figure it out, man. Like he always seems to come through right around the right time of the race, whether it's the halfway point, whether it's the last few laps, whatever it might be. He kind of ends up with the right speed, the right line, whatever it is to peak at the right time. Gary Lindbergh comes home third, Dalton Slack fourth, and Ryan Susie fifth. Got to give a shout out to Dalton Slack doing what he said he wanted to do. He wanted to run consistent, get some more top fives, and started eighth, brought it home fourth. So good on Dalton for following up after that great interview we had with him last week.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he said at the shop. Hey, finished top 5. This is exactly what I said. I'm like, yep, good job, bro. And I just watched the race, and he made a couple good passes, was running the top, could kind of go anywhere. He's definitely not committed to one line like I can do a lot of times. He was rolling middle, running the bottom, running the cush. He was all over. That's what you need to do. And one more shout out I want to get because we just watched the big block feature from Ransomville on Thursday night. Gary Lindbergh finished third with his small block. And when Gary always, I think, runs the best against the big blocks with his small blocks around here. He's one of the best to get that done now these days. And yeah, he put her third at the Big R. So congrats to Gary for the podium with a small block.
Good on Gary. I feel like he's got to break through again at Merrittville here sooner rather than later. He's another one that like just circled on the schedule, circled on the lineup. Know that he's going to be there in the end, but hasn't quite got as many wins as maybe he deserves on the year. Somebody else who I feel like is who went to victory lane in the Right Choice Auto and Leisure Sportsman, James Friesen. Friesen has been fast all year long, and finally beat Cody McPherson in an all-time battle. I thought that might have been the race of the night, honestly.
It was definitely the race of the night. No doubt about that one. Cody got the lead. Yeah, I didn't realize how close it was because I just just saw online what had happened. But I didn't realize it was that close when I watched it there on G-Force Lite. And what a freaking race, man. Merrittville has been so perfect this year with the races. Like,
Yeah.
everyone I talked to is
Yeah, it
talking
was a
about
good
the
one.
great racing at Merrittville.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Like, I think it's really in the last month that we've started seeing some of the closer finishes too. Like I
Nah, it's been
say,
all year.
that I mean, like, I feel like I didn't sell it as well as I could have maybe with my words on the write up, but that really was a great close finish. But Friesen just for me well, hopefully we get the chance to talk to James in the coming episodes, just because I want to ask him about this, because he's always the guy that I associate, at least in the sportsman, with the high line. I know Adam Leslie runs up there a little bit as well. There's a couple other drivers who float up there, but Friesen
Justin
just is
Sharp.
always the first to it. And yeah, Justin Sharp's another one. He's the first, but Friesen's the first to it. Usually the one who makes the most progress with it, and it's ultimately what won him the race. And talking to him in victory lane, he talked about how he wasn't even trying to race alongside Cody because he didn't know what lap it was. He didn't know he was coming to the checkered. He was just trying to point and aim towards the lap car and try to get around him outside, and it all worked out perfectly for him. So good on James. It was a good one. Greg Pinty brought home third, Rob Knapp fourth, and Justin Sharp, who we just mentioned, brought home fifth.
Yeah, good rebound for Penante. Got her fixed. I think that's his second race. Has he finished third both races since that wreck? Or is that his
I
first third?
feel like
I feel like that's 2/3 now since the wreck.
let's see.
Definitely 2/3 on the
Let's
year.
see.
But shout out to the Gaston's Auto Sales 99p for sure. Just for the, he was looking fast, but just couldn't quite get JMF and Cody.
That is his second third. Good on you.
Yeah.
He and technically is third because he also got one at Humberstone. But August 1st, the holiday Monday, Greg Pinty also finished third at
Right.
Merrittville. Last week he was 12th, and then the week before was the DNF. So, but yeah, consistent run again. Pinty controlled a lot of that race, and then Cody and James just kind of ran him down, and there wasn't much that Greg could do to hold them off because they're just the class of the sportsman field. It feels like right now.
No doubt about it.
Dave Bailey wraps up another Hoosier Stock feature win. Wins it over Mark Fawcett, Jason Fontaine, Donnie Lampman, and Jim Lampman. That one I'm pretty sure went green to checkered, if I remember correctly. Right?
Yep. Old Dave
Yeah,
Bailey
right.
pulls off another one. Shocker.
Yep.
Another guy that stood us up
Started
tonight.
seventh.
Tonight we
Rolled to
had
the
a hard
front.
time getting a guest. We had to.
I mean, it didn't help that like pretty much every sportsman and modified driver in the
Correct.
region is probably either crewing or racing tonight at Ransomville. But yeah, no big deal. It's fine. We got our buddy Nick Sheridan coming on a little bit later on. So
Yeah, but we tried Bailey first,
I,
JMF, and
I mean, I
Billy
could have
Bleach.
I could have grabbed Bailey at the track, but I ended up getting to the track a little late after work
That's
on
okay.
Saturday, and then I figured, oh well, we'll just interview him on Sunday before the show at Humberstone. We'll do it together. We'll be there together, and Mother Nature had other plans, so
Yeah.
not so much with that one. Rona Deutsch Mod Lights. This is the only reason I was hesitant to say that the race of the night was the Sportsman. It was because this was a good one too. The Mod Lights really put on a good finish there. Josh Slater made it close at the end, jumping in the 88. I'm not sure what the reason for the car switch. I didn't hear from Josh,
Oh, I can
but
take a guess.
I could probably have some thoughts and feelings on that. I feel like I have some opinions, but or some suspicions, I guess is the right way to say that. But either
Just
way,
feeling
I
her
mean,
out.
Josh made the 88 look fast. I was like, I didn't know what I was gonna see out of him once he jumped in that
Yeah.
ride, and I was like, oh, okay, well, we'll see how Josh does. But yeah, he made it close on Brent there at the end.
Yeah, I was pretty proud of him. Took me half the G Fort Lights broadcast of the feature there to figure out that he was in the 88. I kept looking for the 17. I was watching with my mom, but yeah, he jumped in that other Savage chassis car and almost caught Bigelow. It was almost like a replay of what we've been seeing all year because there's a few times where Brent's reeled in Josh, and then this time Josh reeled in Brent, but didn't quite get it.
Yeah, not quite. Wasn't able to fully put it all together. RJ Pitts brings it home third, and Robin Eisner fourth. Ryan Anderson fifth. Got to give a call to Ryan Anderson. A lot of consistency all of a sudden out of that 44 car. Just in the last three races, a fifth, a third, and a third. So shout out to Ryan and really seeing some consistency and some major improvements to be running consistently in the top five in what is a very competitive mod light class.
Yep, Josh's cousin, so he's got a good teacher, and pretty sure Josh owns
Mm-hmm.
that car. One of the whatever he said 8 and like 10 he's associated with that he said he owned on the podcast. That's why I said to my mom we were watching at one point. I'm like, look, Josh owns all those cars except the one he's driving. Because it was Cheeseburger and Pitts and someone else. I forget.
Yep.
One of them. I think it was Riley. And then Josh in there.
Yeah. Van Sickle Pet Value PV on the lane, 4 cylinders. Clinton Barrick, another TMR car. That's Barrick's, I believe, second win of the year. So good for Clinton to get back in victory lane. Wins it over Austin Worstrow, Tyler LaFonzi, Ken Hare, and Vincent Pagnotta. Clinton was definitely jacked up to see the TMR guys. And man, I cannot wait. Again, I think that's one of the ones we've got some family podcasts, but I think the TMR team podcast, that if we can pull that off in the off season, I think that would be a real fun one.
Yeah. I did think about getting Tyler this week, too. We should have. But, yeah. It was down to the last minute.
We should have now that, especially because we were scrambling for guests.
But we haven't had a mini stock guy yet either because we've tried to get all the classes, but we haven't got one of them. So shame on us on that.
We'll definitely work on it.
Fix it.
No, you know what? We're all about the winners, and Tyler didn't win this week. So you know what? Tyler's got to.
Oh, yeah.
Tyler wants to win, or if Tyler wants to get back on the podcast, he's going to have to get to
on
10 wins for the year.
He already has that if you count up all the tracks, I think.
I was going to say, if you start factoring Ohsweken, he's probably closer to 20. But between Humberstone and Merrittville, he's at 9. Yeah. So
yeah,
maybe when he gets,
I like your idea of all three of them at once.
Have them on.
Kills 3 birds.
I think it would be great
stone.
with like Kyle, with Tyler, Clinton,
or
right.
Gets 3 birds stoned
just
at
to
once.
Talk to him about how that team works. There you go. Now you're talking. It is a good point, though, this is a good chance to talk about the points in over at Merrittville. We've only got 2 points races left on the calendar for Merrittville Speedway, and so why not? Let's take a look at some of the point battles. If you had to guess right now, what's the closest division? What's the closest class, do you think, right now?
Sportsman.
Actually, no. That one is that's actually the biggest gap.
Really?
Street stock Cody, is also not the right answer.
Modified.
Yeah. It is modifieds, yes. Ryan Susie leads Matt Williamson by 1 point.
Yeah, why did I say Sportsman? Gapper moment there. Yeah, 1 point is
Gary
insane,
Lindbergh, 6 points back. Pete Bignell 16 back. So it's basically amongst the top 4 right now. So 5th place is Freddie Carlton. He's 101 points back of Ryan Susie. So it's going to come down to Susie, Williamson, Lindbergh, and Bignell for sure for this championship.
Yeah. Whenever we talk about points this year, I always say Matt's going to have to miss one for a Saturday. So I'm literally going to the schedule right now so I don't sound like a dummy. And yes, Mr. Dirt Track USA at Lebanon Valley, and that's a big paying race, is Saturday, September 3rd. So that is the final point night at Merrittville. So Maddie has to miss that one. So that's a big deal. So take Maddie out of it. And then what do we got?
So then that would mean Susie leads Lindbergh over 6, or by 6, and Pete Bignell by 16. So Pete's going to have a little bit of work to do. Yeah, I was going to say, Pete's going to have a little bit of work to do to catch, but yeah, exactly, right? And Gary, if Gary capitalizes, it literally might come down to the final race, really.
Sounds like it's definitely going to, because there's only 2 left, right? This Saturday, next Saturday.
Yeah, like I think the only way that happens is like if Lindbergh and Bicknell maybe DNF and Susie wins, then that might be enough to seal it, but
highly unlikely.
No, that's gonna be fun to watch because I agree it's highly unlikely. I think that's gonna be a right down to the final lap points situation. Oh, that's fun. I'm gonna have to really brush up on my points calculations here so I can call it as I see it live.
Yeah, you're gonna have to be brushed up on that because who doesn't love a good end of the season point battle that close in the top division at the track? Like,
right.
It's basically what you die for.
Okay, so 2 weeks left. Give me a prediction: Susie, Lindbergh, Bicknell. Who you got?
I don't want to do that. Gosh.
Oh, you got to. I'm putting you on the spot. You got to do it.
Oh. I'm Pete's 16 behind, eh?
Yeah.
I hate this.
Trying to do some quick math in your head?
Yeah. Who finished the worst on Saturday out of the three? Pete? Because then he'll
I
be
think
handicapped
Susie, and he
better.
was fifth.
Ooh, yeah.
Susie
So
finished the worst.
Susie
Yeah,
Dick
Susie finished
now,
fifth.
or no, Susie. I think it might stay the way it is. That's tight though.
Yeah, I think so.
I still want to poke anybody out. Yeah, I'd love to see Pete win
It's a
number 25. I'd love to see Gary win number 2, I believe, and I'd love to see Ryan win number 1. But Pete's rolling pretty good. They're all rolling good now. Like it's so hard to pick.
I know. It's
Yeah,
going to be really tough. Yeah, because Pete finished second. Lindbergh was third last week, and Susie was fifth. So I don't know, man. I expect them all to be inside the top five for the last
I
two
know.
races for the next. I don't think I can pick a favorite of
We
them
just gotta
amongst the
watch it
two.
play out.
I
Hopefully, Mother Nature doesn't get in the way. That's the main thing. I hate when the final
Yes,
point
that
night
is a big
rains
part
out.
of it.
That's the world's worst. World's worst.
Yes,
My buddy Alan Slate
absolutely.
lost a sportsman championship that way back in the day. One single point to Wayne Kahn, and the final night rained out. What a kick in the butt. Yeah.
That is a heartbreaker.
Mm-hmm.
Taking a look at the rest of the point standings, Cody McPherson, we were just mentioning, he's way out in front of the Sportsman. He's got a 142-point lead over James Friesen, even with Friesen's win last week. Mallory is third, Sharp is fourth, and Knapp is fifth. But that's a tight little battle inside the top five. I mean, so James is 142 back, so he's got a pretty nice hold on second place. But then you've got Jay Mallory, who's 156 back, and then 6 points back of him is Justin Sharp, and then another 6 points back of Sharp is Knapp.
How far back is James
So
from first? Like a good while.
142 points.
Holy moly, that's over 2 nights. Yeah. So Cody's pretty much got it wrapped. That's pretty wrapped
Yeah,
up. So
I'm pretty sure he can skip. I'm pretty sure he can
is it
skip the final two
is it
races and still win
mathematically
it.
lapped up? I think it's 60 points for a win. So 120. So I don't think it's doable.
Yeah, right.
Unless the
Yeah,
points have
I
changed
think
from
that one
back when
is
I was a
over.
Merrittviller weekly.
You know what? I'm gonna see if
Yeah.
I wonder
So
if they
Cody's
actually
pretty much
have
got
a
it wrapped
points
up.
breakdown.
End of there. James, we said those two would be battling for the points. Wasn't quite as much of a battle, but he finished second. And who's third, fourth, fifth?
It's
Last three.
Mallory Sharp
No
it's
Leslie?
Mallory Sharp Knapp right now. Leslie is
Mallory Sharp
sixth,
Knapp. Robbie Knapp
and
having a
and
quiet
even
good season.
Leslie, he really is. Like, I want him to win one so bad because he just drives so
Yeah.
hard. Nobody starts a race on it as much as Knapp does. I think like he is just green flag comes out on it. I'm taking as many spots as I possibly can, and then
That's
usually by the
definitely
middle of
how
the
he's
race he
driving
kind of
last
settles in
Saturday.
about where he is.
Last
Right?
Saturday
He was on
I
it,
seen
man.
him complaining about sportsman demo derbies online sometimes. And then I think last Saturday he was sick of it and then just said, you know what? Foot on the gas, don't care. And sometimes
I'm
that's what you gotta do.
I'm driving through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Ain't going to the track to make friends. Bring them with you.
No, but
Yep.
that's why he ends up in the top five pretty regularly. So that's why he's sitting top five in points right now.
That's
And yeah, we did talk to Adam Leslie a little earlier in the year, and he's only what is it, 5? He's only 7 points back in Nap. So it's a pretty tight battle from about third through sixth, I would say, in the Sportsman. Lots of jockeying still in that one. Hoosier Stocks. Dave Bailey's got a 133-point lead over Kyle Pellrine, which I don't think I would have known that Kyle Pellrine was sitting second in points if you'd asked me, uh, you know, middle of the season or even coming into tonight.
beginning.
I probably wouldn't have suspected. I mean, I know
I
he's
think
got
we
one
talked about it one
win,
other time,
but
and he was second. But
yeah, right. Yeah, it
yeah,
was like pretty early in the season. I feel like we talked about the points, but yeah, Kyle Pellrine sitting in second, Donnie Lampman third in the championship standings right now at Merrittville. Zach Bleach is sitting fourth, and Jason Fontaine fifth. So, um, those are the ones to watch really. I think Murray's been affected by damage. I know he didn't race last week. Mark Fawcett hasn't been here every week. He sits seventh, so they're a little bit further back. But so from third to fifth is really where the battle is, and it's 10 points between Fontaine and Bleach for fourth, and looks like 14 points between Donnie Lampman and Zach Bleach and the Hoosier Stocks. But yeah, it looks like, I guess, yeah, if we're going off the principle that it's 60 points to win, I'm pretty sure that means Bailey should have the Hoosier stocks locked up.
Yep, no doubt. And no shocker there. No, not his first time.
No,
All those when he had that cast car hero card for the dirt race and the championships on there were insane. Like the 5 Alhambros and
yeah, right.
whatever it was, 7 Merrittvilles. It was insane.
Yeah, that guy is no stranger to championship form.
Yep. Yeah.
Rona Deutsch Mod Lights, a bit closer. Brent Bigelow and Josh Slider, 20-point gap for the lead. So not necessarily over, because Brent has really been feast or famine. If he doesn't win, he doesn't finish. Like that's kind of the attitude of the vehicle in terms of mechanical failures and stuff that Brent's found himself
Yeah.
involved with. But
So he's leading.
yeah,
So give us it
Sliders. Again. So it's Bigelow, Slider 20 back, Josh Slider 20 back,
Yeah.
Tyler Winger's 31 points back, Sean F. Toddy's 51 back, and Rob Meisner is 79 back. That's your top 5.
So yeah, I officially got sick of guessing, and I went and Googled it. Or I didn't Google it. I went on the Merrittville site to check the points. So I'll give you the top 10 point paying positions. First is 60, second is 56, third is 52, fourth is 50, fifth is 48, sixth is 46, seventh is 44, eighth 42, 9 40, and 10 38, and -2 they're on back. It's basically -4 from first to second, and then -4 from second to third. So those are some big point paying positions. But then from third on back, it's -2 all the way to the end. So yeah, Cody does have it locked up. That settles that. But
yeah.
So 20 points, Brent.
And that would settle it for Bailey too, right?
That would settle it for Bailey. So Josh would like to take the lead this weekend. Josh would need to win, and Brent finish 9th. And then, yeah, there's so many other combinations, but Brent needs to have a little bit of an off night.
Yeah, it's not over. Like
it's definitely not.
It feels like it should be for the amount that Brent has won, but it's not. Like Josh has come right back and kept it close, and
so
like even if Toddy's not necessarily out of it at 51 back, like if everybody in front of him has some bad luck,
that needs some serious
luck. It's definitely a stretch, but
here's a scenario. So if Brent finishes 4th and Josh wins the next 2 weeks, that's a tie.
Wow.
So that's close.
But what are the odds? But what are the odds Brent finishes 4th in a mod light? That's
not very good.
That's the real question, right?
But I'm glad I looked up these points because the modified is going to be insane with how close it is. 16th to 3rd is just that would be like a 1st to 7th. So
I feel like we checked the modified in particular like a couple weeks ago, and Pete was up like 4 points on Susie. So it's like it's really gotten topsy-turvy in the last little while.
That's how tight it is, right? So if you finish 9th, and I believe Susie won one of those nights, that's 20 right there. So you cannot, if you're racing for points, there's no bad nights. You have a bad night, you're in trouble. Better win the rest.
Yeah.
Yep.
Especially with 2 weeks left in it. And the last series, shockingly not over. Again, Tyler LaFontaine, you would think the series should be wrapped up at this point, but Trevor DeBoer, he's not out of it. He's 52 points back in second place. Austin Worcester is 106 points back, and Vincent Pagnotta is 148 points back in fourth, and Clinton Barrick is 158 points back in fifth. So that series not over necessarily either. However,
what was the difference again? 42?
It's 52 points.
Oh, that's pretty much
52. Over. Exactly. Like Tyler LaFontaine needs 8 points total.
Yeah.
He needs 8 more points than Trevor DeBoer does this week, and it's over. So Trevor's got the pressure on him.
No doubt about it. Good job to Trevor DeBoer, though, rocking second in points. Cheers to him.
He's been Mr. Consistent again. Yep. Same as Austin Worstro sitting in third, no feature win.
He's got a lot of second Pagnotta's.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
He is like Mr. Second Place. Just quickly looking at it, this isn't just for Merrittville, but I'm pretty sure mostly Merrittville. 15 races. Actually, it might be just Merrittville, actually. 15 races, 12 top 5s, 13 top 10s. So, Austin Worstro, Mr. Consistency. Would really like to see him get that check.
And what's DeBoer sound? What's DeBoer sound like?
DeBoer, 16 races at Merrittville, 11 top five, 16 top 10. So he has not finished outside the top 10 at Merrittville this year,
Nice.
which
So
is
yeah.
pretty impressive considering,
So if that's just
it
Merrittville,
always seems
yeah,
like the Fender series get bent up.
that means Worcester missed one.
Yeah, I think Worcester must have missed one
Yeah.
somewhere along the way. I feel like he had to miss one once because I think I feel like he was involved in a pretty good wreck and he might have had to fix up the car or something. Don't
Yeah.
remember for sure.
But yeah, the Fantasy wrapped up.
That is your points.
Not official yet.
Yeah, that not official yet, but
Pretty
that
much.
is the point standings over at Merrittville Speedway heading into 2 weeks left on the calendar. Action Sprint Tour are going to be at Merrittville on Saturday. Sportsmen are off, so I guess technically the Sportsmen probably only have one race
Yeah.
left to settle it. So now
Yeah.
it's definitely over.
Yeah. Severely.
Now we know that for sure. Yeah, it's really over. But yeah, Sportsmen have the night off on Saturday. You guys are back in action on Friday night at Ohsweken, right?
Yes, sir. Hopefully the forecast ain't right, but actually it's not that bad. It's like 40% after noon, so 40% is beatable. The first Sprint Car Nationals
Yeah,
this year was like 90% all day, and we got it in, so should be good.
exactly. Something we didn't get in the Pete Costco Memorial. Of course, that's
Sad.
a big shame, big bummer that didn't happen. But Terry Vince posted on the Humberstone Facebook page that a makeup date will be announced at some point. We don't have that yet, so when we do have that, we'll get back to Humberstone. Although I think we have a
Yep.
Humberstone date coming up, anyways, right? So
Is it?
we're
Is there?
definitely
I
getting
haven't checked the
close.
schedule. If it's Labor Day, I have to go
I
right.
feel
But
like I feel like it might be Labor Day, so I might be flying solo on that mission.
Johnny
So
flying solo.
I think I covered. I feel like I covered you for Labor Day last year too. To be
You
honest, so
definitely did.
yeah, right.
Yep.
Yeah, 21st was going to be the Pete Costco. Actually, no, I think no, there is no Labor Day this year. Actually, I was mistaken. All I'm seeing is the next event at Humberstone will be the 24th, 25th, the Flat Track Canadian Nationals. So that's on bikes.
Yeah.
Nitro 54 Classic, Fall Classic, KOT AST 358
Yeah. Looking
Sportsman
forward to
Street
that one.
Stock, and that's the 30th, so that's gonna be fun. I guess I'll be calling that one by myself because you'll be racing probably right for the
That
KOT.
one might be G-Force too, but those guys should have you in the booth as well. Those ones
Yeah,
are G-Force
well,
for
if
sure.
they have me, I'm
They should.
happy to be in the booth if they'll have me.
Yeah.
Burger Barn Classic the next night as well. KOT AST 358 Sportsman Street Stocks
Yeah.
and Minis that night. So that should be back to back nights, right? Saturday, Sunday.
Yep. Can't wait.
Nice.
I've only raced there once, and I haven't raced a short track in 2 months almost. And paging Terry Vince, give the 360s more than 3 shows next year, please. Thanks.
You do like your short tracks this year. You definitely have a short track program. One other thing to touch on before we get to Nick Sheridan. Fast Freddy to debut new motor. You might have seen this headline pop up in the Merrittville social feeds. You might have seen it on the website. Mr. Engine Builder over there, extraordinaire. Why don't you talk us through this one?
Yeah, so it's basically just going to be like an LS based, just a little bit bigger than the W16. It's a 6.2 liter, which I did the math on that, and it's 378 cubic inches. So that's a little bit bigger than a normal 358. But even though they're called 358s, if you go to the max overbore that you can go to, there actually can go up to a 363. So 10 cubic inches there, a little bit different. And no sail panels or alcohol. They got to weigh 2,400 at the scale. So I believe that that's actually 50 pounds more than a spec option. I'm out on my weight. I should have left the rules up. But I heard, I'm not, it doesn't say it in the article, but I heard, I think someone might have read the article wrong. Someone told me there was Brodex heads on it. I'm like, but what it says here is the experiment is similar to the experiment with the 602 crate and the Brodex hedge, which are now in use by Northeast. And little fun fact, the first 358 modified driver to ever race with the Brodex aluminum head, which they now all run. Back in the day, there's a ported steel heads that they were trying to get away from the extra cost from porting. So they went to this aluminum head. And the first guy to run one was me. So yeah, there's a little fun fact. And then Pete ran them after me.
Look at you being a trend
Yeah,
center.
I was the first guy to run the spec heads. No, that's what's been on every single 358 modified since 2005 ish. Six is by 6 7 by the time all the steel heads got out of it. There still is a ported steel head option, but you got to weigh like almost 2,600 pounds, I think. So, but yeah, but
A lot of extra weight on
yeah.
that. So what do you think? What are you anticipating from this? Do you think this could be the future? Do you think this is gonna do away with the sail panels next year? If this is the way to go?
Uh, yeah, I'm not sure on that because that's just for this one engine. Like, because Freddie, if he's not going to be collecting pay, if he finishes in the top five, he's not collecting points. So this is definitely still in the serious experimental stage. So I don't know what they're going to do with the actual Wegners, like the W16s that are in competition now, which are like a 327 cubic inch or something like that. And yeah, so definitely still got to work out the rules there. I know. I wouldn't doubt Downey's trying to pull away from the sail panels because there was a lot of negative attitudes there. But I don't hate the sail panels. I just kind of don't like that there's. It's kind of hard to explain that there's different looking cars out there to a newbie. That's just my thing.
It definitely is a bit confusing for some of us that have to talk about this stuff and talk about it from a different standpoint. I'm optimistic because of the price tag on it. Like it says in this article, the price of the new motor is expected to come in around the same as the current W16 motor, which, uh, if it performs well and it means no sail panels and it's going to cost around the same as a W16, maybe it's the right way to go for the sport going forward. Maybe it's an option that balances out with the 358 motor. I don't know. I think there's a lot of question marks, but hopefully, I don't know. Do we want to see? I guess I'm thinking I want to see Freddie perform well because just that means there's one more option that drivers have at their disposal, especially those of us with lighter budgets.
Yep, there's yeah, but like in my opinion, like the 45,000, like if someone could find a good used motor and then just find someone to like, I mean, a lot of problem is with like racers don't know their own parts. Like a lot of times parts get thrown away that don't need to get thrown away. Sometimes some engine builders will do that. So, and like if the guy doesn't know his own parts, he's just going to pay for the new valve job the new valves every time. And but if he would know his parts and know what a used valve actually looks like, and go in and ask the builder to show him what they look like, there is guys that do that. And yeah, there's a lot of, yeah, I don't know, 45,000 for an engine's insane. I know parts are high now and everything, but like, yeah, it's definitely gotten
Fair
away
enough.
from the
I mean,
dirt spec at the beginning, that's for sure.
well, again, let's hope that we start to see some of those prices coming down. More balanced field, and I guess no sail panels would be ideal as well. With all that said, I feel like it's time we get to our guest. How about we tee up Nick Sheridan? Hey, do you like what you're hearing? Want to support the Southern Ontario Dirt Show and help us expand our coverage across the province and Western New York? Well, your ad could be playing right here. Got a brand or business that deserves more attention? Email us, southernontariodirtshow@gmail.com, to become a sponsor of the podcast. And now, let's get back to the show. And joining us now on the show, it's Nick Sheridan. Welcome to the Southern Ontario Dirt Show, Nick.
Yeah, thank you, Jonathon and Travis. Thanks for having me tonight.
No worries, pal. Travis, I know you're good pals with Nick, so I feel like you're going to lead a lot of this and you're going to have some dirt that you're going to bring up on him.
Well, I ain't got much dirt on him. But I said earlier in the show when we were recording our part that we had a lot of people lined up before him, but we were waiting for Nicky to win his first 360 race. He hasn't quite done that yet, but he's done everything else, finished second from 10th, and a whole bunch of other awesome drives through the field. And just recently, I think he top fived in both of the recent Monday, Tuesday shows. So that was a big deal with extra cars. So just tell us about your season so far, bro.
Yeah, no, it's been an awesome year. I mean, considering it's our rookie season of 360s, it's not really something we expected to be running this well, but it's super awesome that we're doing it. And honestly, nothing to complain with. It's been a pretty awesome year for our team, and just awesome to keep being up front and close to wins. Even if we're not getting them, I'm sure they'll come soon.
That's a for sure.
So you mentioned your rookie year coming from the crate sprint world. What's been the biggest difference? What's the biggest challenge for you so far making the jump into full time 360 racing?
There's quite a bit of differences between the two. Like the 360 racing is just so much more competitive. There's a whole lot of competitive guys every single week there. That it's tough, and you got to bring your A game if you want to be with them. And I feel like we done a pretty good job doing that this year. But physically driving the cars as well, it's a whole lot more of a rush in a 360, and you can just if you got to put the right foot down, usually you can make some things happen.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and you definitely love doing that. Just tell us what it's like. Like compare running the top at Ohsweken to like a short track.
Like the top Ohsweken, obviously there's a lot more room. You have a little bit of leniency there for a tiny bit of a mistake usually going in the corners, but coming out now with the new walls, they come up really fast. You've got to be ready for that. But actually, like in qualifying there on the Tuesday show, we ended up getting the pole there, which was awesome. But in the qualifying there, we I did not lift the whole time, which you cannot really do that in a 360 at a small track. Small tracks, you really got to set the car going in, and if you're good at Ohsweken, you can just hold her wide and really roll the top. It keeps some good speed up.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I was wide open too, and I thought I had a good lap, but then you were over a half second faster than me. But then you told me you were about 80 pounds lighter than me too, so that's at least 0.1. So at least point, maybe more. So
Yeah, at
I was
least.
definitely wide open, but that's when Ohsweken's the funnest. That's for sure. Love that.
Oh, for sure. It's definitely a rush when you get that kind of a track to rip around the top. It's that's what 360 racing is all about.
Sprint car racing in general, just leaving her to the wood.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hear that, Travis? Top, Travis, top, not the
Yeah, I
bottom.
know. To be fair, at Ohsweken, usually it's bottom 1 and 2, top and 3 and 4. But
Oh, I
yeah,
seen you going on near the top and qualifying there. I was impressed. I was like, oh, look at Travis
yeah,
though coming out of his
I can
hole
do
to
it
the
when there's
top.
bite up there or a cushion. The week before my nose wing fell down, I was up there too when there was a pretty solid cushion. I'm hoping there's a cushion tomorrow, and I'm thinking there's going to be one. Let's go.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
So what about you, Nick? Do you like to search around for lines, or do you get set in your ways sometimes? You find with your driving style.
I once we get the car kind of in a neutral spot, I really like trying to find our lines. But so far this year, our car has been really good on the outside of the track, around the top of Ohsweken. So I've kind of been sticking that. It's kind of been my home. But once we do some setup changes and get this 360 thing a little more figured out, get some more notes, and get a little better on the bottom, I'll be able to really navigate going between the two of them.
You don't need the bottom in 3 and 4, just 1 and 2. You hit that, and then you're winning. That's what I've told you already.
Well,
3 and 4, don't even bother with the bottom over there. Just don't even bother.
It's not
Don't
even
even
worth.
bother.
Don't even try.
Nope. 1 and 2, you got to figure it out though. All right, so
I
my
like.
question.
Go for it. Yeah, go
you
ahead,
go.
Travis.
No, you go. Nope. You first.
I just want to bug him about the fact that I'm seeing a big rookie R third in the standings in the KOT. So the Knights of Thunder 360s, you're sitting third. You're trailing Corey Turner, Mitch Brown. After running 4 features, you got 3 top 10s, 2 top 5s. Where is this coming from, man? Like, do you feel like a legitimate title contender? Do you feel like you should be as high in points as you are? Because you're really impressing a lot of people, I feel like.
No, thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate that. I'd like to think we can hold up there and be a title contender for the end of the year, but we're going into some tracks that I've never run in a 360 before. I've been to Brighton once in my life, never been there in a 360, and we haven't got a whole lot of laps at Humberstone, which a lot of these other competitive guys do. But hopefully we can put together a couple good runs and keep it up there. But I would not say we were expecting this at all. Like just honestly, for this goal for this year, was just to go out there, get our feet wet, hopefully get a few top 5s, top 10s, be up there and mix a few times. But we've had a lot of speed and that's it's pretty awesome to have that rolling out with that R there beside your name.
Yeah. So that my next question was just to talk about winning the crate sprint championship at the Res when you're 14, and talk about that. You definitely got Ohsweken figured out. No doubt about that's your favorite track, and that's where you run the best. So you've had that figured out since day one. Won the crate championship as an 8th grader. Talk about that. What?
No, that was pretty awesome for sure. We another year, our rookie year, we weren't really expecting to have like huge expectations for that year, and we just had an amazing year there. But Ohsweken's really suited my driving style. I feel like we've been really able to have a lot of good runs there, like which is shown, and we haven't really got a whole lot of races anywhere else besides Ohsweken under our belt. So definitely, it's kind of our home track where I've got most of my laps in, and I think we'll eventually get better at these other tighter tracks, but it's just they're really tough to drive with these sprint cars. They're those tight tracks make them hard. But we've been really fortunately been really fast Ohsweken, and that's awesome to have that.
Couldn't have been that hard. You won $5,000 in a crate sprint at Merrittville last year. Talk about that.
That was pretty awesome. That night, I think the track was a lot like an Ohsweken sort of night, so we were able to kind of use our Ohsweken setup in line and be really good there. But also, I think Merrittville is probably my second favorite track outside of Ohsweken. I really enjoyed it. We've been quick there, and I love that place along with Cornwall. I've had a great time. We ran and raced at Cornwall. They're probably my top 3 favorite tracks I've raced on.
So, what do you anticipate being the biggest challenge when you get to some of these shorter tracks, like go into a Humberstone in setup wise, or maybe even driving style wise?
I think that there's obviously challenges with both of them. Like me, I have to work on my driving style, being able to really slow the car up on entry and keep speed through the center while still being able to turn. But that'll be hard for me to work on. And the setup in that too. There's obviously quite a bit of differences you can work on with the car for the really tight tracks, getting it to turn through the corner and still have lots of grip on exit, which is tough to find with these 360s. And the guys who get it figured out seem to do really well. Like the Mitch Brown's always been great at it. Those tight tracks, Corey Turner, all those guys have had great speed there, and hopefully we can get up there and mix there with those guys.
Yep. Talk about going to Millbridge. It's one of the coolest tracks in the world, where all the NASCAR guys hang out. And back in your quarter midget days or whatever the heck you were driving back then, like they run at Ohsweken, I think now. Talk about going to Millbridge. And did you run against NASCAR stars, or they were there for sure?
Yeah, when we ran the Outlaw carts back then, we ran down there, and I went down there once, and we had Rico Abreu was there, and Kyle Larson was there for their big race, and it was amazing to race against those guys. Another one of my favorite tracks. I really enjoy running those tracks, and there was other guys there like a bunch of the local guys there were all super fast, and it was just awesome to be able to go there and bang the boards and just have an awesome time at those tracks. And I loved it so much. Those cars are great to drive, so much horsepower, a lot like a 360 sprint car, and just it was a great time for a 12, 13-year-old kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if our listeners haven't, sorry, go Johnny. This is if our listeners haven't seen it. If you have a Dirt Vision account, they show that every Wednesday, and the micros there. Sometimes they have wing, some they have non-wing, and it's one of the most exciting tracks in the world because it gets a huge cush up on the wall, and you can run the bottom too, and it's basically just a non-stop slide job fest, and definitely worth watching. We need something like that around here. I think, yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. That was definitely the place I really learned to be able to run the outside in a race car. Like we had a practice night there before our big night there, and I ran the outside so much. I think my left side tires were touching the wall. We were right up on the wall through the corner, and it's just an absolute insane racetrack. Just gets your heart rate going like no other place.
Yeah, for sure.
So that sounds like your kind of driving style then, based on everything I'm hearing, is that you want something that's going to be a challenge, something that's going to maybe be a bit physically demanding, something that's going to be mentally demanding. Is that really where most of you guys want to be in a race? I feel like that would just be so stressful to do over and over again, running right against the outside and going for the most speed lap after lap.
It definitely is stressful, but I think that's definitely the place where me and our team have really excelled on those types of racetracks. We've been really getting able to keep up with those front guys, but tracks like Monday, we went from 20th to 6th there on Monday Nationals, and that was the slickest place, nothing to lean on. So I definitely think we're building up a good team that's going to be great for all sorts of track services, especially coming up in the future once we get some more notes and get some more time under our belts. But it's been just an amazing curve, and definitely we've been really fast at those hammer down tracks.
Is there any fear when it comes to a place like that and in that sort of driving style, or you just you're just smiling behind the wheel the whole time?
He's smiling.
There is a little bit of fear. It always comes into your mind when you build your own race cars and you're trying to do it on a budget, right? You don't want to spend a lot of money and things that you don't need to, so you're trying to keep the car together on those tracks. And we've it's a very fine line between being fast and being on your lid. So you got to find that and roll with it.
I've got a perfect line about fear in racing, and it is when you're picking a girlfriend in your race car, the best way to do it is if you're not scared of it a little bit, you haven't picked the right one.
That's a pretty good line, TC.
Yeah, I think so too.
So much wisdom. So wise, this guy. All right. Well, I feel like you're going to have an interesting answer for this question, so let's get right to it.
Nick, I got one more before the question.
Okay, fine. You got one more? Okay, go for one more before the big
First question, is Jakey in the shop right now?
Jakey is sitting right beside me, and he's been screwing with me and throwing things at me and poking me, trying to make me
Perfect.
laugh.
This is the exact. Okay, so Jakey, turn the camera to him. We're talking to him now. Thank God. I was hoping this was going to work.
Yeah.
I knew this was going to happen. Okay, so Jakey, you just ran your first ever dirt race, I believe. I know you ran a crate sprint once before. Didn't work out all that well. But you ran your first ever dirt race in the NASCAR Pinty series and ended up finishing third. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it was a little foreign to us for sure, between the Pinty's teams and between me and myself as a driver. I think everybody at Ohsweken Speedway knows my 7 laps in a crate sprint car wasn't overly achieving, but it was a pretty cool experience. I mean, I would consider my dirt experience very minor, and it's just, I didn't take long. I think our first session we got out there, and I kind of found out about 45 minutes before I got in the car, like, hey, this is what's going on. This is what you're doing. Grab your suit and get the porta power in this thing and make this seat from Christopher Bell size to Jake Sheridan size. Like, there's no way Christopher Bell drinks Bud Lights on Saturday nights. That guy is about 125 pounds. Like, he's not big. So by the time we got in there, went out there and we did about 8 laps in like the first round, and we were like nothing spectacular, like 13th out of 24 on the board or something like that. And I committed, and I was like, wow, that was crazy. Like, these things handle terrible. Like, everybody's sideways, and we were having a good time. And Nicky came over the window. I got 8 laps in, and he was sure to go correct me on everything I was doing wrong. He was like, I gotta show you what you need to do here. This is not gonna cut it." And I was like, "Oh, all right. Sorry, my 8 laps didn't meet your standards, but
Yeah.
I'm kind of joking." But it was a lot of fun. It was definitely something that changed, different to adapt to, and really thankful for the opportunity. And it worked out so well for us in the long run.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You weren't joking about Nicky there. Nicky, tell us about you had a headset on for him and stuff. So tell us about jumping between the sprint car and I don't know if you recall your crew chief, but I'm sure you had your hands in on it. Talk about it.
Yeah, no, I definitely wasn't a crew chief on that deal. We were so busy with the sprint car stuff. I was just running over there and help where I could. But no, it's definitely busy when you work on your own car and then you get a chance running over and watching your brother and running back. And I loved it. Great. We're just I was more there for Jakey's support and just kind of giving any input on what I could and help out what they were trying to make decisions on. But help him out a bit with the tire situation on the dirt track compared to the asphalt track. It's quite a bit different. But he did a great job, and I didn't have to say too much.
You are the crew chief on the APC car, or no? You're the shot guy.
You could say that. We all kind of work together pretty well. I wouldn't call myself quite the crew chief, but we all work together pretty well.
What would you guys think about an APC race on dirt? I think that'd almost be better. What do you think, Jake?
I don't know. It's hard to say. They're yeah, maybe. I don't know. They're pretty different cars, right? They're a little lighter, I guess, and I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know if the series is quite there yet as far as diversifying. I don't know. I guess I haven't really thought about it much. I should have probably been ready for a question like this, but it'd be interesting. I don't think you would see those Pinty's cars they're pretty robust. Like, they're pretty tough and pretty basic, and
take a bit more of a hit, a little bit.
I don't know. It's tough to say. That's an interesting question. I mean, I was a little bit disappointed, to be honest with you, in the Pinty's car. We got put in the wall there at about lap 60, maybe in the final stage, anyways, and kind of bounced off the right front tire and got put in the wall and come off the wall a little bit, and it bent the steering wheel, bent the steering almost a quarter turn. So I was amazed at how little it took to do that. So, but it held on. It never broke. It lasted all race long. We were fortunate enough to get a red flag, and I could actually take my steering wheel off and put it back on straight, so that helped a lot, and it held up, so that was cool. But it'd be interesting. I mean, I would run it if it was in the series. I'd run it, but it'd be my biggest thing is cleaning. I hate cleaning at the dirt track. I hate changing my clothes after the race. I hate cleaning the trailer. That's why I don't like doing it.
Pavement guy coming out a little bit there, but okay. My next question, a little bit. Okay, this one's for both you guys. I'm CASCAR's biggest critic, NASCAR Pinty series. Sorry. World's biggest critic on it, but they did put on a good show at Ohsweken. I loved it. Just a little bit of rubbing. They didn't take anybody out. No one. The guys who rubbed finished first and second, but that they were a little bit slow. Definitely a little bit slow on the lap times. Do you guys think if they allowed them to sipe and grind tires, that it would probably pick up at least a half a second. And do you think they should do that next year?
I don't think they should do that next year, and I don't think it's worth half a second. I don't know exactly how much we were. I don't think they should let anybody be manipulating those tires. I think what they got. I think the tire they have isn't necessarily too appropriate. I think it's too hard. I think it'd be better racing if it was softer and you can melt it off a little bit and get it hot and things like that. I think that'd be better. Maybe better long run racing. I don't think opening the tires up to whatever guys want to do is super wise. I mean, there is only, I guess, so much you can do as far as grinding and siping and needling. That's not the end of the world. It's not softening them or nothing, obviously. But
yeah, no dope. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. I think just from an asphalt point of view, that's kind of all we do. Tires the way it is. So I don't think it's wrong, but I think keeping it stock is the best for the series. But they are slow.
I love your idea of just softening them and then not siping or grinding. So just bring not
I'm
80 durometer
totally on
next
board
year.
with
Okay, bring us a 50 durometer next year.
Yeah,
and then that would probably be better.
Yeah, for sure.
I like it.
I was on the lines there with if they were to go back there with the same tire next year, that 80 durometer, they have to be able to do something because that was just that was pretty.
Yeah,
I've tired that hard on a dirt track, just couldn't hook up. But if they were, I imagine they'll come back next year with a little bit of a different compound, maybe a little softer tire, and then I think you bring that and keep the rules the way they are. I think that's great.
I have to throw a little bit of an input in. I think that hard tire, as much as anybody in the world wants to bitch and complain about it, that tire going that slow made the racing extremely technical and did put a bit more of control in the driver's hands, in my opinion. I think there was not much about speed to that tire, and you weren't going to melt it off. You could do 100 laps wide WFO, and ain't nothing going to happen to that tire. You can just get on her. So I don't.
All right.
I don't know, but it was funny though, just because we ran our pro late model lap this past week at Delaware on Friday, and I ran probably 200 laps between Monday, Tuesday, in the Pinty's car at Ohsweken. And then I got in at Delaware, and I thought, oh my God, we're going fast. Like, we're on the pedal a long time.
Yeah.
Slow.
Yeah. Okay. Now you can hit them both with the question, Johnny.
Well, I think I got a little twist to the question. So we'll get to the actual question in a second. But since I got the two of you here, your brothers, I'm going to give you two other drivers that you have to team up with to run the Rolex 24 at Daytona. Any two drivers in the world, who do you want to pick as your teammates?
Moly.
But you two are both driving the car with them.
Wow.
That's a tough question.
You're the one that's supposed to be here, so you go first.
Oh, okay. Travis, for one. No.
We'll do the virtual one. We'll do the virtual one.
If it's virtual, I might get on board with that.
Who would I pick for that? That's a tough question. I think.
No doubt.
Ooh, there's a lot of drivers out there. Does it have to be a modern driver? Can it be anybody from any time?
Anybody from any time.
I'll give you anybody from any time.
Ooh, that opens up a whole nother can of worms. Boris.
Mine would be Jordan Taylor. He's hilarious.
Boris said.
Boris said for sure. I love it.
Nice.
Yes.
Gotta go, Boris.
And
maybe Danica, the other one. Who knows?
oh wow. Tell the young guy said.
I mean,
that.
Danica ran
Jakey's
the
not
Rolex
that much
a couple
older.
times.
Yeah, the single guy says Danica.
So wait, I got to pick two.
Yeah.
If I was in there just for fun, I think it'd be pretty cool just to have the whole family in there, like Nick, Dad, and myself in there. However, we would not do well, I don't think. Mostly Dad, Nick. But I think if I was going in there, I would take Andrew Ranger because I think he's one of the best adaptive race car drivers I've raced with in my life.
Agreed.
And,
I like it.
I hate to say it. I think KFB. I think Kyle Busch would be awesome. I think he would do well.
Kyle.
Another guy who's got experience.
Yeah.
Got experience in those Lexuses down there. I mean, those are two good answers.
Answers.
So the actual question, the way we answer all these, or way we end all these interviews, is I'm going to give you one car on one racetrack to drive for the rest of your life. What is the combination of car and track that you want to drive?
The rest of my life.
That's an easy question.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Jake, go
Outlaw
first.
super late model on above half-mile ovals with lots of bank.
Winchester.
Ooh, okay.
Winchester would be amazing. Even though it's not lots of banking, I'd still run Kalamazoo.
That's cool too.
Nice. That's a good answer.
I'm thinking a dirt track, so you can kind of, if you're into the same thing all the time, dirt tracks change a bit, so you can work on changing up with the track. But I kind of want to do something with a huge motor, like a 410 sprint car, at probably Eldora, just so I could just bang the boards like I always do. Just love it.
Okay, if you were going to
Perfect.
hot lap one thing, like you get one session of hot laps in something. Give us one of those.
Silver Crown car.
Because everyone says Fort Town and Eldora. We've got that 100 times, I think.
Silver Crown.
So what are you saying?
With,
Oh, I love that one. Jakey, give us hot lap session.
Yeah, that's a good one.
One hot lap session in anything.
Oh man, that's tough. I would definitely. I need to find the fastest thing I can think of. Like I like Nick's answer. I like that a lot. But I like even just like an asphalt sprint car. But at what track? I don't know. I want to grab an asphalt sprint car so bad. But
what about an IndyCar at Gateway?
that would be wicked. Actually, I would take an like a IndyCar from a one car style. Probably just because that's the furthest thing from reality that I'll get to drive with
exactly.
deal. So I would try and take some of the most extreme cars. If I can go Formula 1 car at Montreal because it's Canadian, that'd be wicked.
Nice.
Awesome. Love it. Okay.
Well, boys, started as Nick. We get brought in Jake. Thanks for doing this, guys. Sheridan brothers joining the Southern Ontario Dirt Show. One dirt guy, one asphalt guy. Awesome job to
one asphalt guy with a good dirt finish.
That is true. With a great dirt finish.
The one thing I want to add, they gypped Jakey on the interview on the TSN broadcast. They said nice things earlier in the broadcast about Nick, Jake, and Ron Sheridan. They did say that, but they gypped old Jakey on the interview at the end. And me and my mom were miffed.
I think if Stuart Freeze the one, he would have been the only guy that got an interview. I think the only reason second place was Stuart, but I don't think you can do top 2 and not do top 3. That was a little low.
I know. I was miffed. Me and Rose are miffed.
Those TV constraints, they're so tight.
Yeah. Sure. All right. Thanks, boys. This worked out great. I knew Jakey be in the shop when we get them both.
Sure, that's awesome, man. Thanks for having me on here.
Yeah.
You guys.
Yeah. Good episode, boys.
Awesome, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Good luck the rest of the way. Yep. Enjoy the rest of your years, guys. Cheers.
Guys, you guys have a good one.
And the checkered is out on another episode of the Southern Ontario Dirt Show. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe for future episodes. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Southern Ontario Dirt Show. Have a question for the show? Email us, southernontariodirtshow@gmail.com. Thanks for supporting local racing in Southern Ontario, and we'll see you at the track.